Hello people, welcome to the channel. I am today going to be playing around with this, a Hot Wheels Audi Quattro. This is going to be my next project. I've stripped it, it's all ready to go. So let's move these bits out of the way. I'm going to be starting on the body first. Now, as you can see, I've put a couple of armoured panels on the door there. Sort of riveted armoured panels. And what I've made that from is aluminium takeaway food packaging, this kind of stuff. So just cut the panels out. I've cut another panel here, which I'm going to put as an armoured thing, just an armoured panel on the bonnet there. So what have I done the rivets with? Well, quite easy really. The panel you're going to use, turn it upside down, and using something thin and sharpish, but not so sharp it's going to pierce the aluminium. Just push in from the back side some round indentations, but when you turn it over, they're not indentations, they look like rivet heads. At least I think they do. So let's just finish this off here. Let's do a few more down the side. So there you go. So that will just stick on there, just to make it look like the thing's been armoured up with more plate metal. And next I've used this stuff, which is from a frying pan splash cover thing. Got it from a cheap shop, probably Poundland I'd imagine. Had it for ages. It cuts easily with scissors, nice and easy to use. So I've cut it to shape and stuck it inside the back window. So we now have armoured panels, and a mesh in the rear window. So we're progressing. And now you can see windscreen. It's a piece of 3D printed mesh that I've got. So I've cut that to size. That I shall super glue in the front window there. So I've done a little bit more on this thing now. I've used more of my aluminium food packaging. I've done a armoured plate at the back and some extra bits around the grille on the front there. The two rear windows on both sides, I've used some more 3D printed stuff. It's like perforated plate. And in the side windows, the driver's window and in the passenger's window, I've used some bits of tablet packaging. The back there looks like quite a nice texture for something like diamond plate or something like that. So that's where I am so far with the armouring. What I've also done inside is, as you can see there, I've stuck a magnet in the middle. The idea is it will be an anchor point for any weapons that I want to put on the roof. So I'll just anchor on there. I've just stuck some magnets to demonstrate. And similarly, what I've done is on the interior, I've put a magnet there. And the idea of that is so that when the car is all back together, I've got an additional magnet anchor point in the middle of the bonnet, so that I could put a weapon in there if I want to. So we'll see how they work once this is finished and it's all put back together. So we've reached this stage. I'm not sure what else I'm going to do with it. I'll probably do some more on it, but I have decided I don't want these wheels. I want these wheels instead, bigger, chunkier. So next stage, just get my clippers out. Just gonna clip off the little pegs holding the wheels in. There's one gone. I'll try not to destroy the wheels because I'm going to probably want to use them on something else. There you go. So they're out. These wheels are going to go on, but they'll go on lower, I think, than the old ones to give it a slightly more elevated look. But I'm going to just clean down in the wheel arches just to make them fit a bit better, and I'll be using a file for that. So what I've done for the next stage is I've cut a strip from this plastic card here, just an old off-cut plastic card. What is it, about 1.5 millimeters, I guess? And I've put those struts here, which is where the wheels will attach. So this will allow me to lower the suspension so it looks slightly more suitable for Gasland style racing. What you see also I've done, I've got slightly shorter struts on the front and the back. That's so that I can put a bit of rake on the car, so the angle, the stance will look good on the road. Left the last bit, so all I've done is flattened the interior of the wheel arch there, and I've scored it with a knife just so there's something for the glue to bind onto. And bit of glue there. Just check. And let's stick it in place, hopefully without sticking it to my fingers. Or maybe I will stick it to my fingers, who knows. It wouldn't be unheard of. No, that's about right. I got that about right. So I'll just check that it's more or less level. Yeah, that's pretty good. We can always correct it when the wheels are on anyway. Also, another thought is that the thickness on these struts will mean that the wheels will stand a little bit wider. So I've got the two wheels on one side, as you can see, slightly raised suspension, lifted, shall we say, and on the other side I'm just going to put the last wheel on now. Let's push it in place. It looks kind of okay, and then the last bit I'm going to do is just drop the car in place so that I can make sure that the wheels are the right height. That's going to look okay. Sits nicely. So there you go. We have 4 wheels. Nice aggressive stance. Actually, the front wheels are leaning in slightly, but I don't think that's going to notice. Okay, so the wheels are on, as you saw. I have done one more thing. I've stuck some strips of plastic card, more of the plastic card I've cut on the underside to protrude out the front, and I've cut it so that it looks like sort of a ram. I'm going to paint that up so it looks like rusty old scrap metal has been welded on the front of the car to act as an improvised ram. But I think I'm going to call my Audi Quattro done now. That's it. Finished. So all ready for a undercoat. Here it is, primed to be painted. The main colour I'm going to be painting this is going to be white, and I'm going to be sponging it on. So I'm using just matte white, in this case army paint and matte white, but any matte white paint will do. I'm sponging it because I like the finish that you get when you sponge paints on, and also because it's been undercoated in brown, where the sponging doesn't quite get into all the crevices and recesses, it will leave hopefully a rusty looking recess. Also, I'm hoping that the paint will look a little bit patchy, a little bit blotchy. Might not work. If it doesn't work, I can come back in with a brush and fix it. That's the first coat done. Let's see how it looks when it's dried. Doesn't quite have the effect I was expecting. And let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I've got partially good results, but there are bits where there's too much brown showing. Thinned down what I'm coming in now with brush painting just some bits in the hope that the paint is thin enough kind of translucent, so I'll still get some effect of the darker recesses, but it won't be quite so garishly brown. That'll do. A lot of it's going to be covered with weathering anyway, so that I think will do. So the white's done. I just want to put some decoration on now. It's going to be a stripe running down the middle of the vehicle. So I've masked it off using masking tape, and I'm just going to lay down the first part of the stripe, which is going to be yellow. There's going to be more colour going on than just the yellow because this is an Autobahn build challenge. So obviously that's got a German connection, and the car is an Audi Quattro, which is a German car. So the stripe is going to be inspired by the colours of the German flag, which, as I'm sure you will know, we'll see what that looks like when it's dry. It might need a second coat, and then I'll come in with the subsequent colours. Right, after 2 coats of yellow, I've now added another bit of masking tape in because I want to do the red part of the red, yellow and black stripe. So I've left the original tape in place, and I'm just going to touch in the red, leave that to dry, and repeat the process with the black, I think. The red has dried, hopefully, so this is the moment of truth. Slight bit of bleeding, but not a lot, and dare I say it, it doesn't seem to have pulled the paint, the yellow paint off, which is good. Yeah, I've repeated a similar process with the black. What I did notice though was I'd failed to mask off the front bit for the black, so I thought I'd just do it by hand, do it by eye. Don't know how it's going to turn out. We'll see in a minute when I take the tape off. So I think that's all done. Let's remove the tape and have a look, shall we? Yeah, so far so good, I think. Might need a little bit of tidying up, but that's looking all right. Oh dear, there's a bit of bleed there under the tape when I put the yellow down. But dare I say it, an tempting fate. So far, looks so good. Let's have a go here. Yeah, a little bit more bleed on the yellow at the back, but I can touch it in with white. I'm quite pleased with that. So there you go. We have stripes running down the middle of the car in the colours of the German flag, which was what I wanted, and I think it's what I've achieved. Yeah, that's good. Just a little bit of tidying up needs to be done now, but I'll get on with that next. There's progress now so far. I've painted in the wheels, the black on the tyres and the metallic, and then the metals elsewhere. Just you didn't need to be watching that on camera. What I'm going to do now is coming in with a wash. I'm going to be using initially on the which I've mixed metal bits with some of the quick shade wash medium stains, and also diluted that with a little bit of water. Just leave that to dry now. Okay, I'm going to try something new now. I've mixed with their quick shade wash medium and a lot of dark rust. I've really diluted it down. I'm going to try putting this all over the car just to see how it works. I mean, you could ask, and quite legitimately so, if you're doing a wash, why don't you use a proprietary, properly made up wash? And yeah, I probably should, but this is just an experiment. Let me make mistakes so you don't have to. And it's not actually looking too bad, to be honest with you. I'll make sure I get it all covered because let's face it, this is Gaslands. And I don't suppose that car washes feature particularly highly in Gaslands racers' priorities. Yeah, I think I'll leave that to dry and we'll see how that turns out. The washes are dry. I think it's worked okay, hasn't it? It made it look a bit grubby without discolouring it too much. That works for me. What I've also done, I have just touched in some of the lines in there down by the bonnet and around the door with some thinned down black speed paint, just like as a panel liner. And I've painted in the rear lights here and the headlights. So yeah, that for me, that's going to do. I don't know, maybe just, I'll tell you what, I'll just do a little bit more weathering. Don't go away. So I'm going to do a little bit of a dry brush, just make it look dusty. I'm going to go to my go-to dusty paint, Desert Yellow from Army Painter, lightly dry using my trusty old bottom knackered makeup brush to make it look like it's got a bit of road dust kicked up. And this is sort of a cross between a sort of a dry brush and a stipple, just to get the lower surfaces just looking a little bit grainy, a little bit dusty and dirty. Yeah, do you know what? That'll do for me now. That's just a nice little bit of dusting. One last thing to do. Let's just check this out. You probably thought I'd forgotten about that, didn't you? The magnetized machine guns. There you go. That works, doesn't it? So dusted up, painted up, and now ready to go out and battle in the Gaslands. So I'll get it on the turntable and we'll get some glory shots done.
Right, let's fire up the Quattro.
Bonus points if you can spot where that quote came from. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've quite enjoyed this. Yeah, if you have enjoyed it, give us a like, give us a subscribe, do all those nice social media thingies that we're supposed to ask you for. Now that's me signing out. See you again next time. Bye for now.